Captain on the bridge.
Alright, captains, we are back on the bridge, and today, yes, we will be continuing on with our first Contact Day Fleet Tribute. But before we get into this video, captains, do us a huge favor, hit that like button, and if you're new here to the YouTube bridge, welcome. Consider subscribing here to the YouTube bridge, as we're always on the lookout for like-minded captains where we can share our love and passion for Star Trek Online, but also things Star Trek. Now, with that said, here we go. Captains, we have been having a blast with these series, as it's always fun to do, as it always gets back to the ships that we love. Now, we are finally hitting and getting back onto the Norway class. Now, we're going to head over to the YouTube log quickly here. So far, we've done the Oberth, the Miranda, the Soyuz, the Nebby, aka Battle Pancake, the Steamrunner, and of course the Akira, which we used the Legendary Akira. So happy that they released it around this time. Worked out perfectly. And of course the video that we did about 3 days ago, as of this video, was the Saber class. Now again, we're doing the first Contact Day fleet of ships, and those were the ships involved in the Battle of Sector 001. And this time we're going to give tribute to the USS Budapest, which of course was a Norway class. So we'll go over here. The USS Budapest was a 24th century Federation Norway class starship operated by Starfleet. In 2373, the Budapest fought against the Second Borg invasion at the Battle of Sector 001, Star Trek First Contact, which of course is one of my favorite pew-pew scenes in Star Trek. So we go some information on the Norway class here. So the Norway class was a type of Federation starship in service with Starfleet during the 2370s. Armament including a phaser emitter mounted on the dorsal bow. The keel of the ship class resembled the hull of the Defiant class, which I never knew until actually someone else pointed that out when it was released in Star Trek Online. Which, captains, we have been waiting for this ship to release because two things. One, it was of course a part of the Battle Sector 001, but also two, it is one of my favorite ships. I know it's not the best looking one, but it was one of my favorite starter ships in Star Trek Starfleet Command 3. And hence why I've been wanting the ship in game. And when they finally gave it to us, I could not be happier with the seating that it gave to us. But we'll get into that, of course, when we get into the video. We'll continue on here for a bit. In 2373, at least 4 Norway-class vessels saw action at the Battle of Sector 001. Now, some interesting information here that we'll not go over the whole thing here, but I thought it was interesting here. But it said mention here, the CGI files for the Norway were either lost or corrupted. This is when they were trying to get the ship back into sort of on screen, it seems. And however it happened, they just, at the end, had to just rebuild it. And I'm glad that they did. Of course, that gave us the opportunity here to have it in Star Trek Online. Now, it does mention here in the magazine from Eagle Moss that it also had phaser cannons. But the armaments from the technical manual say armament is 6 Type 10 phaser emitters, 2 photon torpedo launchers. So it's all over the place, so sure. And of course here, as I mentioned, it was the starter ship in Norway class from Star Trek Starfleet Command. So this ship has a special place in my heart, because Star Trek Starfleet Command 3 was one of my favorite games here. And it even says here in the video game Star Trek Starfleet Command 3, it was stated the Norway class starship had a crew complement of 337 personnel, including 3 passengers and 14 dependents. Now, captains, if Star Trek Starfleet Command was one of your favorite games growing up, let us know in the comments below. But it also made an appearance in Star Trek Legacy, and of course now Star Trek Online. With that said, we'll head back here to Stowbridge, and we'll have a look at this very weird looking design ship, but for some reason it works for me. Now, this of course was part of the new ships designed, built to fight the Borg. And when I first saw it, for some reason, like I said, it just works for me. I know it's kind of odd for some, but, and again, that mention of the Defiant skin underneath the hull, it's right there. That's the skin of the Defiant. So it is what it is, but super happy that it's now in Star Trek Online, and super happy that we're able to do this, of course, in the first contact day fleet tribute vid. So what we're going to do is go over the build, of course, the weapons, space set, consoles, trade stations, and DOS, and then take it into a Cure Advanced and see how this does. So with that said, let's head over the build here. Again, the USS Budapest, it's the Valdres Command Strike Wing Escort. So here we go. This is what we decided to do this time, and this was super fun to do, trust me, captains. So the 4 weapons, of course, we use our favorite, the gravimetric photon torpedo launcher. I have to be very careful not to explode myself here, but this ship, it can stop on a dime as long as I pay attention to my distance between my target and I. But not to say that it hasn't happened before, so hopefully it doesn't happen now. But this torpedo, of course, you can get from the Dyson Rep. Love the visual on this, looks so good. Now we also have a photon torpedo launcher. Just a regular one. I bought this a long time ago. It's just bound to account this is a torpedo that's kind of passed between my tunes, especially new ones, or at least before. Again, reroll 2, crit DM damage 4. We got 2 advanced fleet photon torpedoes here. Again, reroll to crit DM damage 4. You can get this from your fleet starbase. And the elite fleet Janur photon torpedo, which you can get from your fleet colony. Because, yes, why not? Was there already, bought some consoles, decided to get this one as well. This does help restore some shields here. It has a 10% chance, so that sometimes help against the BERG. Well, who am I kidding? No, it won't. Space set, nothing too different. The Elite Fleet Intervention Protomatter Deflector from your fleet colony. Same place I got the photon torpedo there. The Prevailing Innovative Impulse Engines from your competition rep. Of course, the Mycelial Harmonic Matter Antimatter Core. And Theory's Review Pending Modified Shield, which are both from Discovery Rep, and then 2-piece. Gives us 120% hull regeneration, so not that bad. Helps us keep our hull up, which of course will feed into Tyler's Duality and another of our consoles here that we'll go over in a bit. So our aft weapons here to get our phaser look. Of course, we're going to use the Trilithium Enhanced Omnidirectional Phaser Beam, which you can get as a reward from the episode Nexus. So free Omni Beam. Again, more just for the looks. Nothing really for performance, but it'll tickle the shield here and there. Why not? And of course, Prolonged Engagement Photon Torpedo in the aft. This came from an event that we got as a reward, but you can also still get this now from the Phoenix Prize Pack, I believe at the very rare token level. And to add more visual, and of course the other thing for this is it does have a 180-degree targeting arc. So when we are either flying away and or side by side to our target, it will fire photon torpedoes. And of course, to round off our visuals is one of now our favorite consoles that we got from our event campaign reward from last year from the Miradorn, which is this, the Experimental Dual Warhead Launchers, which is just a fancy way of saying they're photon torpedo launchers. So that's what we did. We were always having trouble putting experimental weapons there on our ships, especially when doing cannon builds. So sometimes I wouldn't even put any experimental weapons. But now that we have this, yes, you're going to see this, captains, on ships that have slots or experimental weapons, especially when we're doing cannon with one end looking ships. So there is that. Our devices here, we have torpedo candy. Actually, we'll make sure we get some more torpedo candy here. We're fine. That's 3. We should do fine. But this gives us our plus 30% bonus projectile damage. And then, of course, the second one is the Kobayashi Maru Transponder for its buff goodness. For our console, this is what we decided to do here, is the console, the Bioneural Infusion Circuits from the Low-Buy store for its plus 29.5 Starship hull capacity, so it increases our maximum hit points. Again, feeds into Tyler's Duality. But also a flat-out 26.2% crit severity. Nothing to sneeze at. The Dynamic Power Distributing Module. This comes from the Atlas, aka Prototype Dreadnought. Great clicky, which you can get from your event campaign as a reward. 11.3 all damage resistance rating. Plus 19% directed energy damage. It'll help our lonely Omni Beam there in the aft. But the clicky just can't beat this. For 20 seconds, 40% bonus damage while above 80% hull. So our 2-piece from the Discovery rep will help us hopefully keep our hull up so that this gives us 40% bonus damage. But we also get 100 bonus damage resistance rating plus 500% hull regen. So not a bad console. And we're pairing it up, of course, with our Point Defense Bombardment Warhead, which you can get on any version of the NX. Where it's plus 25% projectile damage, 1% critical chance. That's very cute. But the 2-piece here does help our Omni Beam there in the app for the plus 33% phaser damage for directed energy weapons. Because why not? But we also have this helping our beam looks. Experimental Power Redirection, which is from the Excel 2.0, which you can get from your event campaign as of this video for 2023. Plus 19.9% increased energy damage, plus 13.3 Starship Weapon Amplification, improves critical hit severity. But it also is a symphony of FA beam overload. It is a beautiful sight, Captains. I love this console. Highly recommend it. But another thing helping our phaser look is the emulating phaser lance. Now, this, when we use this beam or this console on any of our ships, we kind of think that this is the beam overload. So it helps my immersion, and I'm sticking to that. Plus 15.8% phaser damage, plus 43.8 Starship's shield penetration. This comes from your Deimos Pilot Destroyer, which I got from the first event campaign as my reward. Plus it's the Picard ship, so I got that now too. Now this is what I was super excited to put on this ship. Since the legendary Akira release, they have finally unlocked the torpedo point defense system. Finally! This can go on any ship, which will give you a melody of photon torpedoes firing. So with our first Alpha Strike, this will release probably any regular starship's photon torpedo loads. Good thing this is a game that we have infinite photon torpedoes, but thankfully we have this now. So definitely happy about this being unlocked from the Akira and that we can put this on any ship. Definitely will help my immersion, especially on this build. Next up, we have the Lorca's Custom Fire Controls, which is from your Discovery rep. For its plus 3.9 critical chance, but also 157.5 Starship Shield penetration. So not too bad. A somewhat free console, I deem free console, really more of a time investment from the Discovery rep. Now we're going to use a ferrofluid hydraulic assembly. This comes from your Terran rep. 13%, again, maximum hit points to help us get more hull points and feed into Tyler's duality. But it also has minus 0.5 second shared torpedo recharge time. So that's going to help us spit out our torpedoes faster. I decided to use, again, the Swarmer Matrix for its plus 30% turn speed, flight speed, and damage for hangar pets, even though we don't have it. But it's also helping our targetable torpedoes, which the gravimetric torpedo turns into one under high yield and concentrate firepower. And plus, of course, 50 projectile weapon training. I just got this off the exchange. And lastly, rounding out the vulnerability locator for torpedoes for plus 2% critical chance, plus 34.5% torpedo damage. As you can tell, I did not put a hanger on this because, well, we didn't see it in first contact, so I'm not going to use it. But imagine this could do a lot better if we did have it. And this ship did come with the Valkyrie fighters, which we've been super happy about to have in-game. Now, stat-wise, though, this does give us 35.7% crit chance and a severity of 178.2%. Now, keep in mind, Captains, my Pendevers are helping us. I have been ranked to 600. I know I can go to 700, but we were doing fine before, and we're still doing fine now. So I find no real reason to use my 150 points. I will probably use it in the future, but like I said, we're doing fine with what we are going through in our nightly pewZ now, so I don't feel the need to use it. So there is that. We're going to go to our skills here. Skill-wise, we have 8 spent in engineering, 10 spent in Sci, and then the rest in tactical. If you want to see that, Caps. I have not changed this in years. I don't plan on changing it ever. And we're still, like I said, we're still doing fine. Specializations, nothing different. Intel, primary, temporal, secondary. Traits is what we're working with. We have ceaseless momentum. Oh, wait, no, sorry. We'll start with personal space race here. Good day to die. We're going to use anchor this time. Self-modulating fire into the breach. Resonating payload modification. Superior projectile training. Unconventional systems. Terran targeting systems. Intelligence agent attaché. And the Boimler effect. Now we go to Starship traits. Ceaseless momentum. Universal designs. Subspatial warheads. Entwined tactical matrices for our back-to-back torp spreads, of course. And carrier wave shield hacking. I know it's showing a 6th trait here. But this is not T6X'd. So it's just a visual bug. I do not have that. Because if this was T6X, I would have a universal slot here. I don't have that. So it's a bug. Sometimes it happens. I don't know why it does that, but features. That's why it does it. Features. Space reputation. This is what we're doing. Torpedo pre-fire sequence. That'll help our destructible torpedo flight speed, of course. Advanced targeting systems. Omega kinetic shearing. Enhanced shield penetration. And here goes Tyler's duality with all of those sets or bonuses or passives helping our hull. This gives us an additional 4.8% critical chance. So not too bad. And active space reputation, nothing too different. Anti-time entanglement singularity. Biomolecular shield generator. Force challenge. Tethered non-baryonic asteroid or Riker maneuver number 2.0. If you get that reference, let us know. Refactoring Tetron Cascade. Stations left to right, top to bottom. This is what we decided to do here. Viral impulse burst. Structural integrity collapse. Chemosite lace weaponry. Here is my back-to-back high yield. So we have high yield 2, which is one of my favorite powers because this spits out 3 torpedoes, which we normally see in Star Trek all the time. Of course, concentrate firepower 3 and call emergency artillery 3. So we're going to see some Defiance help us as well. And of course, beam fire at will and scatter volley to help our back-to-back torp spreads. I always have to wait until the first torp spread fires and I hear that. That's when I activate the other bridge officer ability. Emergency power to engines. Emit unstable warp bubble. Tractor beam. Scramble sensors. And one of my favorite powers here, delayed overload cascade 3 because of the big push away booms. So there's that. Now we go to our dopes. The 2 on ground helping us in space. Neil Falconer. Of course, he was also in First Contact. Increased damage versus the BERG. I know it says ground, but I've been told this helps in space. So there you go. Just like Elder Malikatan here. Space increased damage versus all, but we can slot him in the ground. Sure. And for our space dupes, this is what we got going on. Emergency Con. Helps recharge our evasive maneuvers, our evasive maneuvers. When we hit emergency powered engines. We got 3 projectile officers, 2 of which help us give a chance to stack crit severity when we fire projectiles. The other one, Law here, which is a free DOF actually. Chance to reduce the time to recharge torpedoes. Again, trying to spit out more torpedoes as fast as we can. Delirene here for increased damage versus the BERG. And lastly, 38 of 47 reduces other bridge officer ability cooldowns after using 1. And this especially is right here. Reduces the cooldown of bridge officer abilities by using 1. This officer uses tactical and command. And yes, this is a command ship, so it's going to help. So there you go, captains. That is the build, and captains, always keep in mind, I only do this for my fun, for my immersion, and to share, like I said, this with fellow like-minded captains where we can just have fun here. And that's always the goal, just having fun, because this gets us through our nightly pewZ, through the content that we play here. And that's like what I always recommend to newer players. As long as you synergize your build, you're having fun, and you're getting through the content that you play, that's all that matters. Okay, so now we're going to go to Secure Advance, just like what we've been doing in the past videos. It's my new favorite testing ground because it's the BERG, and who doesn't like pewZ using the BERG? We're going to go take out the left docking station. While we're doing that, we're going to, and when we've done that, we're going to zip over to the right. While we go over there, we're going to take out all the ships heading towards the Kang, because one of our objectives there is to protect the Kang, try not to get it below 75% hull. Take out the right docking station, clean that up, take care of the ships, the remaining ships heading toward the Kang, and maybe clean up on the left side if we have to. And then take out the center docking station, and then finish the TFO. So that is the plan. Let's see if we can do that without dying. No promises. So we're just going to go into a Secure Advance here. Because yes, this ship is doing pewZ against a BERG, and of course map transfer error. Captains, if you ever get that message, just hit U and or depart the system, and that'll get you to the map that you need to go to. Because features, right? Features. That's never happened in a recording, and of course it's going to happen now. So there you go. Take this out. Get some Kobayashi Maru happening here. Get our back torp spreads going here, and our high yield. Head over there. Get rid of this cube here. Take out this cube as best as we can. There it goes. We're going to take care of these guys here. We'll clean up after if we have to, because we need to try to protect the Kang. Boom. Look at all those torps heading out. Love it. Take out the rest here. Like I said, we'll take care of the rest of over there. I see a Borg Raptor heading over, so we'll take care of that quickly. Yep. Take care of that. And then back over here. Oh, we have some more there. Drop spread galore. Photon torpedoes firing. Get out of here. Oof. There was a gravimetric torpedo there. I would have eaten that. Get away. There you go. And these guys now. I'm saving my buffs here for that second docking station there. Head over to that one. Getting away from the gravimetric torpedo. Okay, next up here, let's take this out. Take that out. Cube. There you go. I see a spear here trying to sneak us up upon us here in the aft. Take care of that. Love that console from the XL 2.0. I highly recommend that one, captains. Symphony of Beam Overload Fa. Take care of the last ships here, heading towards the Kang, which is the Negvars. Then we'll use our remaining buffs on the last docking station there. Look at those Defiants helping us out. Love that. Captains that have been with us here on the YouTube bridge know that command has always been one of my favorite specializations, even before it got revamped. There we go. Let's take care of this now. Now we use our full buffs. And I knew that was going to happen. Just so much torp goodness. Oh. This is why I love doing these captains, because it's just so fun. And there you go. That is how she did. Let's head over now back to the Kang here. Everything's clear? Yep. Nope, we won't tell the Kang to get out of here. Yeah, get out, get out, get out, get out. Go, go, go. Get out of here. So we got the optional, now it's just time to take care of this. So we'll hit up that. Photon, 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 yes, yes! Oh, good. So good. Look at that. Grabbing magic devices, just going back to back, firing two. Boom! Yes! Oh, sorry. I just got excited. Oh, so good. That was awesome. So we'll just go here quickly before we head out to take a selfie. Captains, if you don't know what that is, those are our ship selfies. And this is one of my favorite maps to take selfies on, because look at that. In the wake of the Norway, we have floating BERG bits. Yes, let's get out of here, head back to the Sol system, and give our final conclusions. Oof, that warp out. Always love seeing that. So there you go, captains. That is how the Norway did. Had no doubt, really, to be honest with you. But as I mentioned before, captains, this is always just for fun. My immersion that I'm sharing with you. But it also is showing you that if you just synergize your build just a little bit here, you can kind of tweak it the way that works for you. And as long as you're getting through the content, like I said, that you play, that is the most important. But of course, most important of all is as long as you're having fun. Now, captains, as of this video, I will let you in a little secret. This is our 4th time recording this. We were supposed to get this out the next day after the Saber build video, but I was having connection issues, and it was just not working out. It would have been pretty bad. I kind of died a couple of times because of the lag, but also connectivity issues. So I'm glad I waited, because this was actually the best run that we had. No lag, no nothing. So again, my apologies for getting this out, captains, but of course, if you're watching this video, this is gonna, past this date, it's just gonna look like we released it sort of back to back to back, because you can then of course go to the video. So this was the 8th, I believe, 8th video there that we did in the first Contact Day Fleet tribute series. And of course, this are always for fun. 5, 6, 7, yeah, this is the 8th. And we are gonna do more of these types of build video series, because they've just been fun. And we have 2 more ships left. We're gonna go next to the Defiant, and then of course the Sovereign. I worked already on the Defiant build, and I'm pretty happy with how that is. So I'm excited to share that with you, captains. So look out for that. Again, we'll try to get that out as soon as possible. But again, captains, thank you so much for checking out these videos. So do us a favor, like the video, comment below. Let us know what you think of the Norway, if this is one of your favorite ships or not, and that's okay. And of course, subscribe here to YouTube Bridge, and as always, we will leave it on this note.
Live long and prosper.